All right, now that we've wrapped up penetration, we are going to move on to the last one, which is conversion. Now, I'm going to put I'll probably create a blog post on Countertops 101 that kind of goes over some of the key questions that I think you should ask. Before I move to the conversion, you really don't need a ton of questions. The max, there's a couple questions that you should walk away with on the penetration that you should ask every time, right? How do you guys select your vendors? What does it take to get on your bid list? Those are the two most critical pieces of information you need to leave with on that first meeting. But there's probably 5 to 10 questions that can help you dig deeper, but you just need to know that those on your first visit, your goal is not to win a job. Your goal is to get on the bid list. So those 2 questions, by asking them, is going to give you that key information about how I get on that bid list. So let's move on now to the fourth process, which is conversion. All right. Now, conversion. This is all about, our first 3 things. We got penetration, we've got, lead selection, all that. How do we convert all of that work that we've done, and how do we turn that into actual work or money in the bank? Now, first thing is, we got to redefine the win, right? We are not there to sell. We are there to provide a solution to their problem. I know I've said that a million times, but you really need to change your mindset from selling to I am a solution provider and I am just there to help. Some people might need the help. Some people may not, but you're not there to sell. You are there to help. You are a consultative, a professional that is there to help them with their problems. So your win is just to get on the bid list. That's all you're trying to do in your first visit, is just get on the bid list. If you're on the bid list, you will start getting requests for proposal or requests for bids on a weekly, monthly, or some huge firms, maybe every other day, they're sending out, hey, we've got a new project, we need you to bid. All you want to do is find out what you need to do to get on that bid list. And that is your goal on that first visit. You might have to follow up with an email. You might have to follow up with a phone call. But how do we convert that, right? You might walk out of that first meeting. The project manager might be there. You guys have a great conversation. You learn about what types of projects they've got, what they need. They're like, man, send us an email that's got your insurance, your W-9, and you're on the bid list. Like, you're exactly what we need. And I'm telling you, that has happened several times, right? Like, in the construction industry, the bar is very low, right? In the industry, most people, like, there is a huge shortage of quality work. There is a huge shortage of people that do what they say they're going to do. There's a huge shortage of professionalism. This industry lacks a lot of that. And a lot of these GCs are desperately trying to find trades that do all that, right? Like, one of the biggest things you can do as a trade, and I am not shitting you on this. This is from building luxury homes for, I guess we exited at 15 years, right? Big luxury homes from 2 million to 10 million. These are sizable luxury residents. If you will just be a trade that shows up and actually cleans up after yourself, like, oh my God, that is like, it seems so stupid, and like, you shouldn't even have to say that. Like, pick up after yourself. Don't be a slob. But no, 9 out of 10 trades just make huge freaking messes, and the GC shows up and it's like, what the hell happened in here? Now we paid somebody to sweep up, and you'll say, oh, I'm an electrician, or I'm a plumber, or I'm this. I'm not a grunt cleaner. Dude, if you make a mess, clean it up. Take pride in your work. Like, the bar is so low in construction, you really don't need to do much to stand out. Right now, like, I work in healthcare as well, and the bar in healthcare is way up here. You have some of the smartest people. You got people making huge 6-figure salaries. There's some of the brightest, most talented people that you're competing against, especially when it comes to like medical devices and things. Like, the bar is up here, and man, you have to earn that work. Like, you got to have your shit dialed together to get into some of these works, especially in healthcare. But with construction, the bar is so here. Like, if you'll pick up the phone, if you'll return calls, if you'll clean up after yourself, if you'll look presentable, like if you'll speak articulately, you'll get quotes back. Like, the bar is very low. So just do those things, and you are going to stand out to these GCs. It's not like you don't have to perform miracles. You just have to do the basics. Dial that in, and you are in. So how do we follow up? This is how I follow up. Some of you guys might think, oh, that's over and above. This is how we follow up, right? We have a couple of families in our family portfolio. We have a standardized system for how we follow up, whether it's a healthcare lead, if it's a lead for area growth partners, if it's a lead for any of the clients we're working for. This is what we do. Immediately, as soon as we are done, at the end of the day, we send an email to that gatekeeper whose information and contact information we've gotten, as well as anybody else in the company whose contact we've got. So if you got an estimator's email, if you got a project manager's email, and you always want to get the gatekeeper's email. So I didn't say that in the last one. The gatekeeper, it is critical you know their name and get their email, as well as the project manager or the estimator name and email. As soon as you get home that evening, we are not waiting until tomorrow. Like, we do not procrastinate. We are better than our competition. You're going to send an email. Hey, it was great meeting you today. I look forward to the opportunity to working with you and being put on your bid list. Here's the information you requested. Send it. If they requested information, send what they asked for. The other thing is, you should have a digital copy of your capability sheet and your reference sheet. So even if they just gave you that name and email, you're going to send an email. Hey, it was great meeting you today. If she gave you the project manager, the estimator, they're going to be copied on there. You're going to say, hey, Susie, receptionist, told me that you handle quoting within the company. I left a physical copy of our capability sheet and our reference sheet, but I also wanted to send you a digital version so you have that here. We would love to work with you on your incredible projects, and let us know what other information you might need to be considered as a vendor that could bid on some of your projects. You're keeping it real simple. You're not overthinking this, but that email goes out that night. We're not waiting until tomorrow. We're not waiting until the next day. We are showing that time is of the essence with our company, and we do what we say we're going to do, and we follow up. By following up immediately, you show that you have attention to detail, and time is of the essence. GCs don't want to work with people that are not responsive. They want responsive trades. So you are immediately sending that email that evening when you get home. I don't care if it's right at the end of the day at 4 o'clock in the office as you put those out, or if it's 6 or 7 o'clock. You are following up with an immediate email that evening to signal to that GC, time is of the essence for me. We have attention to detail, and you can expect the same type of response when you are working with us. That is the signal that immediate email sends. The second thing that I'm sending, and the reason we send this is this used to be a standard, 20 years ago, but now it is like a forgotten art. You are going to have a card, and you are going to handwrite a note, and you're going to say, hey, to the receptionist, hey, Susie, it was great meeting you today. Thank you for the information on the company. We look forward to working with you and becoming a vendor on your bid list. It is short and simple. You're going to put a business card in there. You're going to seal it, and you are going to mail it. And the reason for that is nobody sends cards anymore. Like, nobody sends cards. This is like a forgotten art. The new generation, it's all email. And emails get lost in a sea of emails. I mean, right now on my phone, there's probably something like 98,000 unread emails. There's probably 150 emails that came through today. It is email overload. So yes, you're going to send the email to signal that you are responsive, but you are going to handwrite a note so that receptionist gets that note. She opens it. She could be having the worst day ever at that office, and she opens that note. Anytime anybody gets mail, it's like, oh, I got mail. Like, I'm not joking. Like, you want to make somebody's day, send them a personalized note and let them open it, right? So the way we do our cards is we use Vistaprint. We have a standard format. We own Sky Family Companies, which is our portfolio umbrella over all of our brands, and we send a card from Sky Family Companies, and it just is thank you. It doesn't matter if it's a healthcare visit, if it's a visit for area growth partners, if it's a visit from somebody we visited, right? Like area growth partners, we help companies develop their sales processes and systems. Even if I go visit an account with one of the sales reps for the company, that sales rep is going to send a card, and I am going to send a card thanking them and helping them. It's going to be more branded for the company that we are working with, but thank you cards are critical. Now, if it's one of our family personal companies and it's one of our personal reps that are doing this for one of our brands, that is going to be that professional card that we have printed. It's going to be a handwritten note. It is a nice card. It is a thick card stock. It does not look cheap. It does not feel cheap. You're going to spend a little bit more money, right? Like a crappy card might be 50 cents. I'm not saying you need to spend a fortune, but spend an extra 15 cents per card to get something that feels quality, so that when they open, it's like, man, this guy really cares about the details, right? I'm not asking you to go broke. You can order these cards in low quantities. I would probably order 100 of them, just the bare minimum, while you're getting your feet wet. It's going to be a quality card. And then what we do on all of our cards is we have the hot melt wax gun that goes on the back. We stamp it with a wax stamp. When you're doing that, sometimes you'll have to add an extra stamp, but we do that because we want to show attention to detail. Nobody's doing that. The only time they ever see something like that is if it's a wedding or a special event. We take the time to do those things to signal we have attention to detail. We are a quality company, and this is the type of stuff we care about, the stuff that nobody else does. So that is our immediate follow-up. The handwritten card, we write it that night if we can, or we do it the next day and we drop it in the mail. That way it is another touch point, and it's a delightful moment when that receptionist gets it, because I guarantee you nobody else is mailing that gatekeeper a card. I would mail the gatekeeper a card, and if you got the estimator or the project manager, I would mail them a card, right? So if you didn't get a contact on that one, it was just a flop, you're at least mailing the receptionist. If you got another contact, you're writing a card to the estimator, the project manager, and the receptionist, whoever's information you got there. Now, the third thing is the ongoing follow-up, right? And this is where I think a lot of people go wrong. If you were just emailing people, hey, I just want to know if I can get on the bid list, or hey, I was wondering if you have any projects coming up, like as a GC, that will wear you out, right? Because especially if you are a decent GC, there's probably a lot of people that want your work. I would say if you truly care about quality, maybe only 20% of those trades actually measure up. So what you need to do is set yourself apart, right? What I would do is send emails. If this is a GC you really want to get on, I would say send them emails that actually like pertain to what they're doing. So if they're a dental GC, maybe send them an email with like, hey, we just finished this project office. If you can say, hey, there was a challenge on this, like, hey, the project had this challenge. We work with the GC to come up with this solution. Just something that you might want to think about on your next project. Like, try and come up with things that show A, demonstrate the quality and what you're capable of doing, and then B, you're going to send information that is actually pertinent to them that can help them do their job better. Again, you're trying to show that you're not just there trying to sell something, you were there to provide a solution, right? And there's been GCs that we wanted to get in with back in the day when we owned a fabrication company in my early 20s. I might have to email or send something to that GC, once a month, every month. And it was something we tried. There's a GC I really wanted to work with that did really cool stuff. I'm trying to send him stuff that's fascinating that we did. Hey, we just did this floating, we had a contractor that wanted to do a floating countertop. They had reached out to a lot of people. Nobody could get the engineering right. Our team figured this out. Check this cool out. Just something we thought you might look like, because your work is so cool. This is something you might want to integrate or think about, right? Just things to keep you top of mind, things that differentiate yourself, and to show that you truly care about that person and that you are positioning solutions in front of them and not just trying to sell. So that is the conversion on how we get in, right? If everything goes good, you're going to send all of that. They're going to be like, great, we'll put you on our bid list. You're going to start quoting projects, and then eventually, hopefully, you can win a project. One thing I do want to point out, if you have been put on a bid list and you are quoting projects, if you quote like 5, 6, 7 projects and you're sending those projects out, but nobody is responding, you're not getting any follow-up, you need to be sending that project and following up in 2 weeks. Hey, we sent you this quote. I want to see if you had any questions. I was wondering, does what I quote look like what you wanted for the spec? Is the material I quoted in line with the budget you wanted? Is there any value engineering we need to do? Where are we at, right? And if you keep submitting bids, there are some GCs that will put you on a bid list. They might have a preferred countertop contractor already, and now they're just using you to hold that countertop fabricator accountable on their pricing, right? So maybe they never did plan on using you. They just wanted it for that GC. It is okay to say, hey, at this time we have sent you 6, 7, 8 bids. These bids take a long time to put together. I would like to get together with you and discuss what we can do to be more effective or be aligned with your processes so that we can win work. If they don't respond, I would just say, hey, at this time, we've submitted 10 bids. We're not going to submit a bid until we can get together and discuss how we can make sure what we're bidding is actually useful for you. Because there's no point in just wasting tons of time doing bids on somebody that's never going to use you. That being said, do not bid low, right? If your only value proposition is I have the cheapest price, you're eventually going to be out of business. Like, you need to develop your skills, develop communication, develop your quality, deliver a service, become a consultative expert that they go to. Like, there are ways to set yourself apart better than price. And if that is all you are, is the low cost provider, you're only going to be there until there's a new low cost provider, right? Like, one of my favorite sayings is, what it takes to get them is what it takes to get them is what it takes to keep them, right? So if you win them with a low cost, what it's going to take to keep them is continually low costs. If you win them with your craftsmanship or your service, that's what it's going to take to keep them, right? So however you win them is what it's going to take to keep them. That's how you can kind of figure out the caliber and the quality of the GC that you are working with. So that is conversion. All right, so I know this video was kind of long. That was kind of the 4-step system that I've used for B2B sales. I use this same system whether I'm working with a sales team that is doing $1 million in sales, or I am working with a sales team that is doing hundreds of millions of dollars in sales, right? I have worked with everything from small startup companies to multi-billion-dollar global organizations in various industries, and the process stays the same. The basics are the same. Now, obviously, the products and the solutions that they are positioning is different. The process to get in with that account might be slightly different, but the basics are the same, regardless of what type of company you're working with, right? Whether it's software as a service or healthcare, countertops, you really need to get these basics dialed in because they will translate over to many different industries. So one thing I want to go over, just kind of a high level, is most fabricators do not have a sales problem. What most fabricators have is a credibility and consistency problem, right? You haven't been able to clearly articulate why you are a company that people should do business with. What sets you apart? How do they know that you are the right fit? Most fabricators are not taking the time to figure out what their differentiators are and why you should do business with them, right? Most people are just like, we do good work. We fabricate quartz and granite. That's great. Again, you are not selling countertops. You are selling certainty and risk reduction. That is what GCs care about. That is what you need to transmit, right? So you don't have a sales problem. Most people have a credibility and consistency problem. They don't have a system. They're not following a 4-step process. They have no systems in place at that company that is a consistent, executable system that you can plug in new reps and they can run with, right? If you hire a new rep, you should be able to walk that rep through a short training program. Like, this is how we set ourselves apart. This is our capability sheet. This is our reference sheet. Here's a portfolio of our work. These are the targets we're going after. This is the avatar that you need to match, right? An avatar is what that ideal customer looks like. And you should be able to set them up for success. If you don't have a system, you are not going to get results, and even worse, you are going to have a massive turnover problem. If an employee gets into a company that is just complete chaos and as no organization, it is the employee that's going to sit here thinking, what the heck, like how do I succeed in this? And you don't want 15 employees all creating their own system. You need a unified front for your company. So you need to have systems in place. You need to have position. This is how we position ourselves. This is our strengths. This is the solution we bring to the table for these customers. And then follow up. This is probably a big thing. As a fabricator, there are tons of fires that come up every day and nobody follows up, right? I mean, if you went and visited that GC and you didn't send the email that night and you didn't send a card and you stopped in and visited their office, and then the next time you're sending or following up them is 3 months later, they're like, who are you? Like, who are you? Like, they've already forgotten about your first visit. Like, you don't have attention to detail. You're not consistent. You don't have a sense of urgency. You need to demonstrate that, right? Every time you're in front of a customer, everything you do should be demonstrating what sets you apart, right? Your marketing collateral is quality. We have attention to detail. We care about the details. We care about quality. What you see in our marketing is what you can expect in our finished product, right? You're sending the card. We care about that personal relationship. We're sending the immediate email. We care about time urgency, and we care about being prompt, and we're going to do what we say we're going to do. We're following up because in our projects, after we install it, you can expect us to follow up. How'd it go? Is there anything we can do better? Like, the communication is there. Everything you're doing, the sale is not just the sale. It's not just talking to them. Everything that happens in that entire spectrum of what happened from the time you walked in to the time you walked out to the follow-up, all of that is part of your presentation and your sales press. People are analyzing that, right? It's kind of like dating. If you go on a date and you're on the phone, let's just say you're so elegant and you speak these words and you're so romantic, but you show up looking like homeless Joe and you don't get the door and you treat someone, that partner's going to be like, this dude's an idiot. Like, why would I date this person, right? They're looking at the whole package, and everything you do is part of that analysis process. So, look at everything you're doing and just ask yourself, if I was on the receiving end and I had a problem and I am looking for a solution, is what I'm doing, does it demonstrate that I am the right solution for this company? Because everything you do, it has a bearing on how that person is going to perceive you and whether or not they want to do business with you. Again, you are selling certainty and risk reduction, not countertops. So what are you doing that is lessening that barrier to coming across as, I am the partner that is going to reduce risk and be easy to do business with, and you know that our service and our quality is going to help you win. It all comes down to that. So hopefully this is a little bit of information I know this is long. I'll break it up into sections, but again, this is the part that a lot of shops struggle with, right? If you're a big shop, I think they've got this dialed in. If you're a smaller shop, this is something a lot of them struggle with. So we get a lot of calls with this, right? Like, Airy Growth Partners is one of my primary companies. We work with manufacturers. We develop sales teams. We develop strategies. We help put systems in place for companies that are maybe looking to go for that next growth pillar. So everything I'm talking about here is stuff we use on a daily basis, and we have used this process whether I'm working with a $1 billion company or a $1 million company. I don't really work with that many $1 million companies anymore. Generally, I say $10 million company to $1 billion company. But it doesn't matter where you're at on that spectrum. The fundamentals are the same. It's about getting a system in place. It's about getting things dialed in. So again, hopefully this helps you. If you have questions, shoot me an email. Always love helping you take your game to the next level. If you are a company and you are like, I am struggling with this, I just want to build cool stuff. I don't want to manage a sales team. we'd love to help you on that, right? Area Growth Partners, that's what we do. We help put sales teams in place. We help develop the systems. We develop strategies. So if that is something that you're like, this is just beyond my capabilities, we would love to help you with that too, right? We have programs and we have consulting work that we can do to help you develop your sales process to get you dialed in. Again, you can do the basics, you can do this, but again, if you have questions or if you think this is something you need help with, we're here for you. We love helping businesses go to the next level. We love helping people succeed. We love seeing people that had a dream achieve success, right? So don't hold back. If you guys have a question, no matter how elementary you think it might be, give us a call. We'd love to help with you. And we hope this video answers some questions and hopefully can help you put together a good B2B sales strategy for commercial accounts. So talk to you soon.